Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of BeamNG.drive. Today we're checking out an older mod, but one that I've been playing around with a little bit that it's pretty fun and pretty interesting. So it's called the DH Outlaw. Right now I've got the rally version with some modifications. We'll come back to this later, but I have that one on screen. I'm going to go ahead and just check out the regular rally, the four-wheel drive version first. But to go over this mod, there's quite a few different options. So we got Rock Crawler, Desert Racer, Baharama Special, Street Dragster, Mud Dirt slash Dirt Dragster, Rally 2-wheel drive, Rally 4-wheel drive, which is what I have now, Race slash Hill Climb 4-wheel drive, Race slash Hill Climb 2-wheel drive, and then a Rock Bouncer. So we're going to play with a couple of these. We are on the map Utah, USA, which you can see is pretty gigantic. And it's great because it gives us a really good variety of hill climb, kind of roadways, high speed, sharp turns, swooping, beautiful raceway, as well as a lot of area to go off-road and do, rock crawling and doing some rally racing on dirt paths and whatnot. So it's a good map to test out this particular vehicle. So I'm going to start with a regular rally four-wheel drive version here first. Now, I've been playing this a bit, and what I don't love, first of all, the transmission in this one is pretty iffy. But what's really iffy about this version is and this mod in general, I suppose, is the ESC, the electronic stability control, is really not good. And I'm going to try to demonstrate that a little bit, but it tries to do some things to completely stop you from driving this car the way you want to. And you're like constantly fighting it. I'll try to exhibit that, but I mean this is right now with the full rally version with ESC, I think in sport mode it defaults to. Yeah, so this is sport ESC, which is crazy because it tends to lock up the wheels a lot, and it seems like it won't let me brake hard, and the ABS is really aggressive. And even when I'm full on the throttle at times, sometimes it won't really give me much power. And the engine also shuts off sometimes. It's very strange. But in general, it just makes it very slow. I'm going to kind of show you how this thing drives on tarmac with the ESC on. And obviously this is a rally version, it's not really meant for tarmac, it's more meant for a dirt road like this one down here. But I can tell you the behavior is not much different. It doesn't all of a sudden come to life on dirt. It's very slow, I can feel that it's fighting me. It feels much less powerful with the ESC on. Okay, I'm going to reset the vehicle really quick here. And just give it a little bit more driving so you can kind of see the speed. And I like it in manual mode. It does a lot better in manual than it does with the automatic transmission. But it still can be a bit slow with the ESC on, especially if you start taking any sort of G-forces. It really reacts. I am full on the brakes right now, and just look how slowly that stops because of the ESC and the ABS. And you can see the ABS light kind of go crazy. And that's full brake. It just doesn't drive, and there goes the engine. See, it shuts off. It's interesting. So what I like to do is turn the ESC off, which I just think makes this car so much quicker. But it doesn't fix the ABS issue. I mean, you can still see there. I mean, I was full brakes. Now I did slide out, so maybe you're thinking, oh, the ESC was doing better than you were. Yeah, I disagree. It's a little hard switching between them. And these rally tires don't have the world's best grip on tarmac. And in general, this thing doesn't have the best grip for being four-wheel drive. But I do think it gets up and gets moving better with the ESC off. I'm going here because this tunnel kind of goes forever. But look at that, full brakes. I mean, I'm full brakes that whole way. So, because of that, what I like to do is I'd like to come into vehicle config and turn off. I just changed the brakes to be to regular brakes, not anti-lock. And now you'll see if I give much brake at all, it will skid, but I have more control over those brakes. Around a corner, I can start to skid if I want, but I can also let them up. It's not constantly babying the brake pedal for me. So I found that that works a lot better for this. Limitations of those rally tires there. What I've enjoyed doing with this car is just turning it into a full hill climb car, which seems stupid because of the hill climb version. We can look at that later. I haven't been as impressed with the hill climb version, so I made my own, taking the rally version, which felt pretty good, and changing the brakes, turning off the ESC, and then last, switching out these rally tires for hill climb tires. And I've been driving it around like this for a little bit, and I really like how it drives. We could just do rallies on one side, that'd be really fun. I'm sure that'd be awesome. Okay. This thing actually does amazingly well now. It's pretty darn manageable. But of course, you know, you still can't hit turns at any speed you want. That was my fault, not the car's. It's hard to get used to these changes as you're making them. Just find the edge of what it's capable of. And I mean, it does suffer here because that suspension is so soft and it's not made for racetrack. It's not truly a hill climb. It's got the wrong suspension. But we'll go ahead and look at the hill climb version here. I'm going to do the four-wheel drive, so I'm comparable. I drove it earlier, and it just did not feel right. Of course, it's spawning right here is really not helping me. Okay. Now, ESC's on, so I'm going to turn that off. Let's see how this does. It's stiffer suspension, but it still has some beefy suspension. What I found with the hill climb is it's not easy to turn. It's not precise. It's extremely sensitive. In fact, like, it turns without me doing anything. I'm not even touching the stick, and it just veers. It doesn't feel good. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but as soon as you hit a turn, I just feel like you have no control over it. It's just very loose feeling. And then if you try to take it through corners, I mean, I'm full brake here. Maybe I'll have to swap out the brakes and see if it makes a difference, but again, I don't feel like I have much control over this compared to even the rally version. It's so touchy. It's so touchy. It's hard to explain. It just kind of floats. It's like it has too much weight in the back or something. I don't know. There, just nothing. I don't know what's wrong with it. But what I really want to show you guys on a map like this is a different version of this car that's a little more Interesting. I want to play my route here to... Yeah, this will be perfect. Okay. Since we're on an off-road map, I want to show an off-road version of this. And I've been liking the rock crawler. It definitely has some limitations, but it's also pretty cool. So first I'm going to go ahead and switch the transfer case on, so we have true sort of full-wheel drive here. And this one does not have the speed of the others. It maxes out at about just like 65 miles an hour or so. But it does have both axles are steering, and obviously is made for different purposes. But it's pretty capable, and it's fun just to watch the suspension move and adapt to rough terrain. And just backfires like crazy. It's only got 3 gears, and you have to drive this one manual. But if you're taking kind of this sort of medium, steep terrain, this thing really does great. But at the same time, if you hit some of the steeper stuff, I'm actually surprised by how quickly it becomes sort of incompetent. But it does a nice job of zipping up those sort of inclines. Like it's good if you can keep momentum with it. It can really carry itself. And I don't have either the diff slog right now. But there should be a spot over here. It does a nice job illustrating. Sometimes we'll show its limitations depending on what it does. I'm just going to throw it down here. Yep. Yep. There. Okay. Great. Cool. Gonna go ahead and just give it a quick respawn, make sure it's okay. Alright, and again, this is gonna be no diffs. Locked. See if we can get up this. Sometimes it goes well. And actually it did pretty well there. Sometimes though it'll majorly reject itself. It actually gets up that better without the diffs lock, especially I think the front diff. If you lock the front diff, see in there, it can't take too much impact. There's that left axle. Boop, just snapped. But it gets up this better without the front diff lock, otherwise it tends to spin out of control and sometimes it'll backflip. But it is cool, I mean, when you get it in there right, to see it just kind of crawl its way up there. Yeah, we might have lost that though. Just give it a little nudge. Beep. That was not a good nudge. Beautiful. Backflip. Okay. So touchy in reverse. I went up it so easy the first time. It's kind of... There's kind of some chance to it though. Ugh. I've gone up it before and it just flips madly. Let's just take it back a little bit. Just scrape up it there, fairly clean that time. Now, you can see the struggle enough with that, but if you hit anything steep, you'd think, oh man, it should be able to charge up this hill. But what I've found is it really can't. If you take the momentum, you can clear up over that, well, fairly easy. You're supposed to be able to. Come on. Steering is so touchy because it is turning on both those axles. You get a lot of steering. But what else sucks is that this thing gets very high-centered. attack center really easily. Even with that suspension, it just does not handle some of these bumps as well as I want it to. So we get up over that, finally, after like 4 tries. And it just can't put it down here. It just can't put it down. It can't find grip. Even with the tractor tires on the back, it just can't find grip. And there goes the rear right half shaft. But I love it in this sort of terrain where it just hops and bounces, and you can see the suspension's just doing a perfect job absorbing some of those bumps. Of course, nothing's going to make it through this. Engine broken. Yep. So I just wanted to show you guys a couple of these. I thought they're pretty interesting, and they handle this Utah map pretty well, and they're pretty fun. I'll have some more BeamNG videos coming up soon, so stay tuned for those, and I'll be checking out some other mods. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.